Jet Bean. We're going to Brawlhaven for game number 1 of this best of 5. And as you said, it is Finn the Human going up against the Black Knight. And Spear versus Sword is going to be the matchup here going into game 1.
Yeah, I mean, I expect to see quite a bit of Spear gameplay like we saw in that first set with Stingray earlier. You know, being able to keep up with a lot of the pressure that Finn is going to be bringing down, you know, with that sword, with those gauntlets. We'll see exactly how it plays out.
Ooh, and we can already see right here, Stingray waiting for Pugsy to get something on the ground, but nothing that Pugsy has done has made Stingray want to commit to a sidelight or a D-light yet, so lots of spear neutralizers there. Finally catches Pugsy with one sidelight, but Pugsy turns it into some damage for himself. Nair's coming through, D-light down air hits, and Stingray gets the recovery, almost takes Pugsy at the top, and that neutral sig was so close to taking Pugsy down, and Pugsy twice now with some unarmed punishes on those whiff signatures coming out from Stingray, and the Sair to finish the first stock. Stingray 0 for 3 on the signature kits so far.
Yeah, beautiful stuff from Pugsy being able to take that first lead here, and they're really showcasing how great their movement is. You know, they're not committing to anything that's really, you know, particularly dangerous. They don't want to get a huge punish. Right there, you definitely kind of messed up, but that's fine, man. Stingray is going to find their stocks.
Stingray
There's just no way you're not going to be able to get him.
We saw that in the last game, too, where players are jumping over him at high damage. He's got the spear, and he's like, you're going to fall right next to me. Which side of me is next to me doesn't matter. The down sig covers both of them, and he takes them off.
Absolutely.
And now Pugsy, with the axe, is fighting back here, and we're in a really close situation in stocks 2-2.
All right, now Pugsy trying to keep this pressure on. We see Stingray starting to bully their way back to a lead here. Not quite going to take the stock, but they do disarm Pugsy with the recovery. Goes for the sig. Not going to be able to land it.
All right, Stingray, last time, okay, there, he hits it. He finally gets the signature because last time Stingray was that far ahead on the first stock, he side-sigged a bunch of times and Pugsy just took him down, right? It was like D-light ground pounds over and over again. Axe picked up, gets the side air. This time, Stingray lands the mark, and Pugsy is down to 1 stock. Axe picked up, and Stingray is looking for that opening here with that lance downer once again. Sidelight dare, goes to the second one, and Pugsy catches it with the axe neutral like ground pound, spikes him straight down, evens up the game.
Beautiful stuff from Pugsy, being able to answer back here. Stingray still has a pretty strong lead, but no weapon in hand, so we'll definitely have to see how they play this one out. Continues to put the pressure down, gets the spear that has been, honestly, just winning him so many interactions so far.
Oh, and the downers come through. He's got to be careful. He's in down sig territory here. And Stingray with the spear unlocked, right? He's going to get Pugsy above him, and he's going to be like, okay, where's that landing? So far, it's been all pogos. He's trying to get Pugsy to be uncomfortable on the ground so he can finish out that stock. And there it is, Skip. He's just waiting to condition Pugsy in a situation where he can get that down sig on the landing, take the game, and move on up in these sets.
It's not even just that, too. It's just how fast that move is. Like, it's not like he has to go for a super hard read one way or another, unless he wants to put a nice charge on it. Like, you just kind of have to be in the general vicinity of where they're landing, and that's a stock, pretty much.
Yeah, Stingray fantastic with that as well. And Pugsy, look, we can see right here, he dodges down, and Pugsy, if he dashes to the right, dashes to the left, it doesn't matter. As long as Stingray stays stacked on Pugsy, he's going to get that knockout, and it's whatever side he hits, it's not like in the Wushong down sig territory where he always sends him off in one direction. It's going to send in the direction that you get hit. And now Stingray is going over to Miami Dome for game number 2, as Pugsy wasn't quite so happy with how small that last stage was.
Yeah, I mean, this will allow him to survive a little bit more off the top, but I mean, really, it's off the sides that would be a little bit more of the
and
way.
Miami Dome sides are kind of close.
Yeah, they're kind of close, but you know, maybe this is what Pugsy wants to allow them to really get a bit more reward out of their risk of, you know, going for these aggressive plays, kind of like that. Not quite going to be able to close that one out, but we'll get it there. And maybe that's why we're seeing Miami Dome right now.
I really like that sider coming out from Pugsy. Catches the unarmed recovery as well. Great job at the edge, and so far no damage onto him as well. But we have to remember that Finn the Human pretty squishy as far as Legends go in Brawlhalla. Even with the defense stance picked up, only 4 defense on this character, so he could go down pretty fast if he gets hit by a flurry of attacks from the lance. Down air is all that Stingray's able to find so far, though. And that nair, he's going to need a few more of those to get Pugsy into deep orange and then further into red, and then he still has to get the stock, and Pugsy playing so much better ahead than he was from playing behind in game 1.
Yes, no, absolutely fantastic stuff here. And this is what's so important about using movement. It's not just using movement for offensive capabilities to try and get those combos going, but also on the defense. You know, you can get your onesies, twosies, build up that damage to close out stocks later. We are going to see Stingray even this up here a little bit, but already being in the red, man, it definitely goes to show how much different this game is for Pugsy so far.
Even though it's not true. It's a very hard string to dodge. D-Light neutral sig on Sword could take Stingray down here, but also just a side air on the Axe. I mean, neutral light almost had enough damage there to take him down. And Pugsy going off stage after the weapon throw misses, fighting him unarmed. Sword picked up. D-Light recovery would be the best bet here now that Stingray's so damaged, but he goes for it. Stingray interrupts it with a down air. Side light a down air as well. Takes even more damage on the Pugsy, and Stingray's trying to come back into this game too.
All right, Pugsy doing a great job dancing around here, using those platforms as well. Kind of gives him actually a place to land instead of having to land on top of Stingray, which he pointed out is kind of just a death wish at that point.
Yeah.
But there we go, closing out the second stock. Pugsy did take quite a bit of damage there. Stingray is clawing this one back slowly but surely. Can Pugsy find a way to end this before it gets too crazy?
Oh, that was close. Nair into recovery at low damage on Sword. Still sends you so high towards the ceiling. Stingray tried to wait out a spot dodge there to get the D-Light afterwards. Doesn't hit it. And now the spear recoveries are trying to take Pugsy down as well. And Pugsy playing so well around it, dipping beneath the stage. And that down sig, you weren't catching a landing there, Stingray. You were just hoping he was going to dash into you. And he didn't, and you're taking a ton of damage because of it. Side air to side air. Enough force to send Stingray off the left side and get a 2-stock in game number 2.
Beautifully played from Pugsy. Going to be able to take that game too. And honestly, yeah, like the more I think about it, the more like I really agree with that Miami Dome pick. It allows him to really get more reward off his aggression, closing out a really early stock and staying in the lead the entire time here. But also, like I mentioned before, having those platforms, so when Pugsy does start to run out of those resources, they can't get caught by that sig that Stingray's been decimating stocks.
Yeah, so the point that you just made there at the end I think is very important too. Black Knight players, Orion players, they love to be able to utilize that signature kit, and Miami Dome is the only one where those platforms, it's too high for your Lance neutral sig to blast you off into the heavens. And so Pugsy being able to play around that quite well and then bolster his movement means that he gets to win. But here, this is the stage that Stingray's made a name for himself on. So many of these, all these platforms, this entire stage in general just enables the way that Stingray likes to play, which is that whether you're on the platform or center stage, his signatures are going to connect.
Yes, so it's going to be interesting to see exactly how Pugsy will be able to dance around it. Ideally, he'll still have the platforms to maybe kind of recover some resources and try to get out of dodge as fast as possible. But you really got to make sure that your landing is on point, because Stingray, as we've seen, it takes advantage of every opportunity given to them as they try to see. There we go. Finally gets the spear in hand. Got a little bit of damage built up with the rocket lance, but now we're going to see, where Stingray really truly shines.
On the spear here, dodges the weapon throw forward, doesn't get the sidelight though, and Pugsy has been phenomenal on those punishes. He gets the unarmed D-Light ground pound every single time that Stingray misses something with just a little bit of lag at the end of it, and now with the axe picked up, we'll see if he does even more damage on here, because the Axe last game, I think, I'm looking over to my left, 39 damage dealt compared to the 443 damage that he did on the Sword. So not doing so great for Pugsy in this matchup in particular.
Yeah, I mean, Pugsy does have a small lead here. It's ever so slight, but a lead is a lead. But of course, as soon as I say something, the commentator's curse just takes hold as Pugsy loses that first stock. Stingray continues to push forward.
Stingray is a menace on dodge punishes with the spear. He will get that double D-Light every single time, and he loves to get that pivot D-Light after the sidelight connects. We saw him go for it again there. Doesn't hit it, and Pugsy gets the neutral light to send him off stage, disarm him, but he touches the wall, makes it back safely, and Pugsy has to go for another edge guard here as Stingray picks up a fresh spear.
Yeah, this is going to be a little bit dangerous. You can see, look, the respect that Pugsy had there, but great stuff, really just staying grounded. We know how jump happy a lot of players can be in this game, but Pugsy refusing to get caught up in the fear.
The down sig, the last bit of the laser there, catching Pugsy's landing, and the D-Light and the pivot side air puts Pugsy to the right side of the stage. Stingray cannot be taken out here on this first stock, and Pugsy dodges away what would have certainly been a connection of that neutral light on the lance. Recovery finally catches something, takes him off the top, but Pugsy's so damaged here on stock number 2.
That's what I'm talking about, taking that strong lead. Oh, no, excuse me. I forgot it's not a lead anymore because Stingray has been absolutely going crazy.
That is just how great that first stock went for him. And Pugsy is with that sidelight trying to make what you just said a reality, but he's... Oh, man, it's going to be a little bit more than that. Okay, downers and siders are hitting through, and Stingray does he's so good at that. He gets the D-Light, but that time, because there was no dodge, he accepts that he has to go for the recovery right away. If he went for the double D-Light, it wouldn't have worked. Doesn't matter. Lance recovery takes Pugsy out the top, even though the spear recovery did not.
Okay, now we're going to see exactly what Pugsy's made of here. I mean, you are down by quite a bit. Stingray doing an amazing job, really forcing their pressure, exerting their force and will, and just really just playing their game. Pugsy kind of has to dance around at the moment. And like you mentioned, man, this stage really allowed
it's Stingray's home
yeah.
field. If Demon Island is Costlix's, it's something about Lance players. They just love having one stage that they play on better than anything else. And Stingray, he's been going for a lot of these side lights, pivot down lights, and Pugsy's been spot dodging or dodging down. I suspect that we'll see from the analysis that we had earlier today as Stingray goes for a side light, dash back side light once again. Pugsy, however, getting ready for that, hits him with the side stick, and Stingray can't even make it back as Pugsy goes all the way to the top of the stage to deny the next weapon spawn as long as possible.
Yep. Okay, there we go, though. And now we see Stingray weapon-starved, at least for a little bit. Great stuff from Pugsy going for the weapon toss on the sword. Now, we've seen the sword to be the specialty of Pugsy, so they are going to be maybe not quite as comfortable here, but look at that, man. Yeah, when the weapon spawns right behind you, and you get to continue to just be a menace like this, you absolutely take that and run with it.
Oh, and now the weapon-starving ends. A good spawn coming in for Stingray, and the D-Light gravity cancel down sig. What? Talk about double trouble there on that attack. Right? You don't expect to be getting hit by two Lance downlights, let alone downlight and a down sig, which is just an empowered version of that move. Stingray, incredible in Game 3, and brings it the match point. We saw that double D-Light recovery, and even though we're going to get the, what is this here? Yeah, that recovery from here, but this last stock, this is, I've never seen Stingray do this. D-Light, jump, pivot, gravity cancel down sig. That is this is a read and a half. My goodness.
You always got to be bringing new ideas if you want to stay on top in Brawlhalla.
That's exactly what Stingray is doing.
Yeah, and Stingray is definitely an artiste of bringing new ideas. But right now, on Apocalypse, Pugsy's last stand. We'll see if they're able to make it happen.
Stingray's getting inside his head there. That was almost 4 consecutive nairs on Spear, just being like, okay, if you just want to hang out in the air like this, I'll continue getting free damage. Tries to go for a 5th one, doesn't get it. That side light into weight doesn't work out for him as Pugsy is now starting to attack out of hit stun rather than dodge out of hit stun. So he's really mixing up what Stingray is trying to condition him into doing, and he's keeping this game even as a result.
Yeah. Stingray, still has that spear in hand, the specialty of Stingray. And look at that, just a beautiful movement, just waiting for Pugsy to commit to something, getting a huge punish. The combo game just continues to unfold. Pugsy is looking like they are frustrated. They are absolutely in trouble, and Stingray just continues the punishment game here.
Yeah, Neutralite hits, Pugsy gets back to the stage, recovery comes forward, falling side air, doesn't work out, and he doesn't dash at all, so that down sig's gonna get the KO, and Stingray brings Pugsy down to 2 stocks. Pugsy looking for that weapon, and Stingray starts hitting him with the nair again, falling side air, walks right back, waits for Pugsy to do something, and takes control over center stage. Weapon throw, leaves Pugsy without a weapon.
And it's just going to be a little bit difficult, too. We see the first down sig taking a stock since Game 1. We haven't really seen a down sig attempt since then. We saw like one, but it never connected. And now you have this opportunity where Stingray is continuing to put down
the platform movement. Recovery, or the nair coming out from the land, switches over. Okay. The Stingray is playing so great. Oh, that haymaker was desperation. Skip. He gets him with the gravity cancel down sig again, and Stingray's up 3 stocks to 1. I think this might be it for Pugsy here. He's just going at him unarmed. Can't even pick up a weapon. He's just sidelighting and narrowing, not even opting for that weapon spawn. Finally, something comes in, but this is looking rough.
Yeah, look, I hate to count a player out until it says, game over here, but yeah, this is definitely not looking good for Pugsy. They do let us know that there is life left in them, taking a stock here, but down 2 stocks to 1, and you've got a little bit of damage already. Stingray's looking comfortable, and now they got a spear as soon as this next stock starts, and that's just got to be discouraging at this point.
Spear is making me think that it's the. I mean, I don't see a lot of spear specialists in Brawlhalla, but man, he makes it look like that when spear sidelight connects, there's nothing that you can do. It's just up to him what he's going to be following up with. And that's absolutely not the case. Okay, he gets D-Light down sig again. He recognizes that Pugsy has no idea what to do about that option. Side airs him off the side of the stage. Weapon throw comes forward here. Stingray just waits for a new weapon spawn. Neutralites Pugsy away. Picks up the spear. Immediately goes to the downlight and the ground pound on stage. And the weapon throw forces the dodge. Stingray. Lance picked up. Down sig's coming through. Immediately buffers the end light. And that's it. Pugsy is out 3-1 to Stingray. And Stingray moves on into the elimination semifinal.
Yeah, that was is just fantastically played from Stingray. We did see Pugsy steal one, but unfortunately that's just not going to be enough. Look at the damage differential here. Absolutely insane stuff. It goes to show how much Stingray was controlling the pace of the game, and especially in a top 8 scenario where this is, you know, some of the best players playing all day today, and you are still dominating like this. Listen, I'm terrified for whoever's got to fight them in winter semis. Like,
yeah, and so what's crazy is that this rivalry that I have in my head for Stingray and Koslix is it could potentially happen here if Koslix is able to get through Meg D, because the upset that he just performed against Boomy was very considerable to me, especially after how crazy that last stock Game 5 comeback was. I mean, you can only dream of things like that happening, but Koslix so good.